I stepped off the plane feeling refreshed and recharged after 2 unforgettable weeks in Thailand. The temples, the food, the stunning beaches. It had been the perfect escape from my high-stress consulting job and the endless neighborhood drama back at Pinehurst Estates. All I wanted was to crash into my own bed and sleep off the jet lag. But as my Uber turned into my street, something felt off. A police car was parked right in my driveway. My heart skipped. Had someone broken in while I was away? I got out, dragging my suitcase, only to see a family of 4, man, woman, and 2 kids, standing on my porch talking to the officers. The woman was holding a set of keys, my house keys. "Excuse me," I said, walking past the cruiser. "What's going on here? This is my house." The officers turned toward me with skeptical looks. "Sir," one of them said, "these homeowners reported someone trying to break into their property. Can we see some ID?" Completely confused, I pulled out my passport. There's got to be some mistake. I've lived here for 6 years. I just got back from vacation. The man on my porch looked just as confused. "We bought this house 2 weeks ago. We've got the deed and paperwork. Moved in yesterday." My stomach sank. That's impossible. I never sold my house. Looking through the window, I froze. All my furniture, gone. My photos, my belongings, everything had vanished. In their place were unfamiliar couches, boxes, and someone else's life being unpacked. One of the officers, a stern-looking woman, stepped forward, her hand resting near her holster. "Sir, I need you to step back. They have legal documents showing ownership of this home." "This is crazy," I snapped, panic rising. "I have mortgage statements, tax records, everything's on my phone. I can prove this is my place." But as I scrolled frantically through my emails, I could tell the officers weren't buying it. The new family looked shaken. The kids were hiding behind their mom. I was being treated like a criminal at my own front door. I had left everything in perfect order before I flew out. Mortgage on autopay, mail on hold, lawn service hired. The only loose thread, a petty notice from our HOA president, Karen Wilkinson. Karen had been the queen of chaos in Pinehurst Estates since the day I moved in. A woman in her 50s with a perfect blonde bob and a clipboard that never left her side. She ruled the neighborhood like a drill sergeant. Her latest complaint? The shade of my mailbox. Charcoal gray, not the approved slate gray. I had ignored it, deciding to deal with it later. Karen was notorious, sending warnings about grass an inch too high, threatening fines for trash bins left out too long, even measuring holiday lights with a ruler and accusing me of uneven spacing, but I never imagined she could pull something like this. As I stood there, completely stunned, a familiar white SUV rolled up. Out stepped Karen, perfectly groomed, clipboard in hand, and a smug smile on her face. "Officers," she said sweetly, walking up, "I see our neighborhood intruder has returned. As I explained earlier, this man abandoned the property months ago. That's why the HOA had to intervene." "What?" I snapped. "I've been gone 2 weeks, not months. And you know that?" Karen's eyes narrowed. "The HOA has documentation showing this house was abandoned, with unpaid dues for 6 months. We followed legal procedures to place a lien and force a sale." It was a complete lie. I had never missed a single payment. Even the officers looked unsure now, but they had to follow protocol. They advised me to get a lawyer and resolve it through legal channels. What followed was 48 hours of chaos, disbelief, and panic. My life had been sold out from under me, and I had no idea how it even began.
Frustrated and exhausted, I checked into a hotel and began calling every attorney I could find. Finally, one agreed to see me right away. Jessica Ramirez, a sharp, no-nonsense lawyer who listened intently as I told her everything. Her expression darkened with each detail. "This sounds like straight-up fraud," she said, tapping her pen on her notepad. "But we need to act fast. If a deed transfer has already been filed, we have a very small window to fight it before it becomes even more complicated." With her help, I began collecting every piece of evidence. I had bank records showing my HOA payments were up to date, my travel documents proving I'd only been gone for 2 weeks, and emails from neighbors confirming they saw me at home days before I left. Jessica filed urgent requests with the county clerk. What we uncovered was shocking. Someone had submitted documents claiming I had abandoned my home and racked up over $15,000 in unpaid HOA fees. There were forged letters allegedly certified, sent to me, fake inspection reports, and even a bogus public auction notice, and the paper trail. It led directly to Karan and the HOA board. But it got worse. Jessica suggested we dig into other recent neighborhood property sales. What we found was chilling. 2 other homes had been taken the same way, through suspicious fast track lien sales while the owners were away. One was deployed overseas with the military. The other had been caring for an ill parent out of state. She's targeting homeowners who can't defend themselves. I told Jessica, anger boiling over. This isn't just HOA harassment. This is organized crime. The turning point came when we discovered Karen's connection to the real estate company handling the sales, the broker, her sister-in-law. They had been quietly splitting the commissions. Then came the smoking gun, a subpoenaed email in which Karen wrote about finding the next opportunity after noticing I had paused my mail and booked a ride to the airport. Armed with evidence, we went to the district attorney. At first, they brushed it off as a civil issue, until Jessica laid out the pattern of deception across multiple homes. This is systemic real estate fraud, she argued. And it's not just Karen. It's a conspiracy involving multiple board members and real estate professionals. Momentum built quickly. We contacted a local news station. The reporter, thrilled to expose suburban corruption, dove in headfirst. Their investigation uncovered years of misconduct. Karen had run the HOA like a personal racket, bullying board members into silence, funneling contracts to friends, and weaponizing power. When the expose aired on Thursday night, the neighborhood exploded. By Friday morning, my phone wouldn't stop ringing. Neighbors I barely knew were sharing their own stories and fair fines, threats, and intimidation. But the real breakthrough. A former HOA treasurer came forward, armed with records. Karen had been embezzling funds for years, draining the HOA account for personal luxuries. That's when the police got involved for real. With a warrant, they raided Karen's home and the HOA office. What they found was horrifying dossiers on homeowners, including travel dates, financials, and a list of targets. The ones who traveled often, the ones with valuable homes, the vulnerable. The family that had unknowingly bought my house was devastated. Thankfully, the court voided the fraudulent sale, and the HOA's insurance covered their loss. I was finally allowed back into my home, but much of my life had already been sold off or thrown away during the bogus cleanout. Then came the moment no one would forget. During an HOA meeting where Karen was still pretending to be innocent, police burst in mid-sentence. They read her rights and handcuffed her in front of everyone. Her usual smug look turned to pure shock. "This is insane," she shrieked. "I was protecting property values. You should all be thanking me." But no one was thanking her. When the charges were announced, it was jaw-dropping: fraud, forgery, conspiracy, grand theft, and money laundering. The prosecutor made it clear they were seeking the maximum sentence: 25 years in prison and over $1 million in fines. Karen's perfectly polished image shattered in court. When the judge denied her bail, citing flight risk, she broke down completely sobbing, mascara streaked, wearing an orange jumpsuit instead of her usual pearls and blazers.